with this course, all the source code is stored on GitHub, and links will be given to that code from time to time. Now, one of the problems is some environments don't let you install software. For example, if you've got Visual Studio and you can't install, for example, the GitHub extension for Visual Studio, and you've only got just Visual Studio. So one thing you can do is you can download things manually. So I'm on the Hello Xamarin Forms repository, and notice I'm on branch master, but I've also got this branch property elements. What's the difference? Well, in the Forms app, if we look at the XAML, there the properties are just attributes of the label element. Yeah. If we switch to the other branch, the property elements, we look in there, you'll see I've used property elements instead. Alright, so the manual way to do it would be to simply pick the branch you want. So let's go for the property elements one, for example, and we can simply download the zip and put it on the desktop. That's called hello Xamarin form.zip. Okay, and you'll notice the hyphen with the branch name, property elements. So let's take that out of there. Don't open projects inside zip files. It doesn't go well. Alright, and now we can just simply open that solution, inspect it, and we should be able to run it. I'm going to pause my video because this can take a little while. Now, because time can go by and things can get updated, I'm going to go through what you often call the belt and braces, which is basically every sort of defensive step I know to make sure this code works. So first of all, I'm going to reset my Android emulator. Now, you shouldn't have to do all these things, but sometimes you do. Right click, factory reset. Alright, and I'm going to now start that one running in the background, because that's going to take a little while. Good. Right click my Android forms and make sure that is the startup project. Again, manage NuGet packages. Look for any updates. If there are any, by all means put them on. Nope, none at the moment. Okay, so that's done. My emulator is starting up. I should just move that off screen. Right, the other thing to do is to make sure you're targeting the right version. That's API 28. Properties. Manifest. Yep, target Android version API 28. That one does need to be kept up to date sometimes, especially as Xamarin Forms and Essentials gets changed. Okay, the other defensive thing I'm going to do is do a build clean solution, which will delete any sort of compiler generated files. Incidentally, if you want to see what's going on, you can click this. That's done. The next step will take a little while, which is build rebuild solution. So this is a complete rebuild from source code upwards. That will take a bit longer. If again you like feedback to know that something is going on, this little icon down here actually shows you all the bits and pieces that are going on. I quite like that. It takes a little while, so I'm going to pause my video. And that's all done. And then finally I'm going to run it. And again you can see the various things that are going on by popping this box up. Again, I'm going to pause the video because this can take a little while the first time you do it. And the application starts to launch. It all says it's done, and there you go. Now from here on in, things improve. Okay, you can now go and edit the code and change things relatively quickly. Let's put an exclamation mark on hello world. Some say it's a sign of madness. Which is rather silly. Ah, great. So already that's broken. That's nice. So let's build, or Control B, I think it is. Oh, no, Control Shift B. Whoops, no, sorry, somehow I seem to make this, right, set a startup project. I don't know how that changed. Right, so now you click run. My apologies. And this machine isn't especially quick for some reason. But it's a lot better than the first time you do it. There we go. Yeah, so just being careful to make sure that the Android project is actually the startup project, or if this is never going to work. Okay, so on Windows, Visual Studio 2019, that's a way you can go to the GitHub repository and look at each branch separately without having the GitHub tools installed.